Absolutely unbelievable. It's a tie game! Woo! Finally! Go Leafs, go! It's not baseball, but let's see a rally. Let's go Leafs! Wow, what a roller coaster of events we just witnessed in a game between the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Two storied original six franchises going at it once again, and the Toronto Maple Leafs flipped the script in tonight's game. They flipped the script. They were down by 2 goals, 4-2. They come back to win the game 7-4 on the back of Michael Bunting with a fantastic performance. He scored a hat trick in tonight's game. Hope everyone's doing well. We got some comments here. ASC is in good spirits. Woo! Free Wi-Fi says slap the like button. Thank you. And if you haven't already, please make sure you smash that like button. Hit the notification bell to be notified every time new content's being released on Maple Leafs Media. Frank Rusty Nails says, despite the Leafs' comeback win, Mrazek has to go. He's playing like Hutchinson at $3.8 million. Not very good. The insider said earlier teams are calling for him. Let him go and recoup the cap space. And Frank Rusty Nails, despite what you think about Peter Mrazek's performance, and just to add on to what you're saying about the insiders, they also said that that's more of a summertime conversation. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they may very well look to add a different goaltender before the summer, but based off what I heard at intermission, it doesn't sound too likely. Tuna says it was 3-1. It was. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here, Chuck. And Joe, nice to see you. So yeah, this was a wild game. I mean, the Toronto Maple Leafs coming into tonight's game, they had lost 5 of their last. They haven't lost 5 of their. Okay, coming into tonight's game, they had held leads of 2 or more goals in 5 of their last 7 games, and they saw the lead disappear in those games. Tonight, the Leafs trailing down by 2 goals, trailing 4-2 in the third period. They come back to win the game 7-4. 5 goals scored, an outpouring of offense from the Toronto Maple Leafs in that third period. That was fantastic. Real nice comeback effort and a team win for the Maple Leafs in this one. And I saw comments about Peter Mrazek. We'll be talking about him as well tonight. But Mitch Marner extends his he extended his goal streak to 5 games. He's now scored 9 points in that time. We'll cover the 3 stars of this game, and Mitch Marner may make the cut for that. First star of the game, I think, no doubts about Michael Bunting being the first star of this game. 3 goals, a hat trick for Michael Bunting, yet 2 goals where he batted out of there. And after that, he said, no, you know what? We're still trailing, even though I've scored 2 goals. I'm going to put this team on my back. And Michael Bunting, wow, what a performance from him tonight. He has a 2-year contract worth $950,000 per year, an absolute bargain. He's been a force up there on that first line alongside Austin Matthews, and at times Mitch Marner, Andre Kasha. you name it, different people have slotted in on that side. But Michael Bunting, he's been a fantastic addition for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, and you saw what he can do out there tonight. 3 goals, and he now is sitting at 12 goals on the season. And second star of the game from the Detroit Red Wings, Dylan Larkin, who scored 2 goals. He scored the first goal of the game, and he also had an assist in this one. I think it would be pretty outrageous not to put him in the 3 stars of tonight's game. He had a great performance out there. And then your third star of the game is Mitch Marner, who extended his goal streak to 5 games, raking up 9 points over that time, a goal and an assist in tonight's game to keep that streak alive. He had an empty netter. Giuseppe says, the dig deep to win versus the Wings tonight. They played well, even though the Wings were on fire and pressing the Leafs. All in all, the Leafs played great, stood to their game plan, and came out with a win. Good comment, Giuseppe. The Toronto Maple Leafs, yeah, at times it looked like they were out of this game, and in the third period, they dug deep to win this game, come back, and really, I thought going into that third period, the chat here tonight might not be a good conversation that's really a happy one, but a lot of Leafs Nation feeling a lot better with this team after this victory. Nice to see the Toronto Maple Leafs actually on the other side of a comeback win. Usually the Maple Leafs are the team having these comebacks against them, but tonight they flipped the script. Justin Mick says, what's going on with Matthews? No goals and on ice for the first goal. Austin Matthews just had a stretch of road games where he scored 10. He just had a stretch of 10 road games where he scored a goal. And Austin Matthews is a fantastic player. I'm not really worried if he doesn't score a goal every single game because that's just not realistic. Austin Matthews and a lot of really prevalent goal scorers in the NHL, a lot of the premier goal scorers in the NHL, they seem to score their goals in bunches. They'll have hot streaks, and then they'll have a couple down games, but then they'll get right back on it. And that's what I'm expecting with Austin Matthews. He is a generational talent. I am not at all worried about Austin Matthews. The goals are going to come for him. So with tonight's victory over the Detroit Red Wings, the Maple Leafs have now defeated Detroit in 5 consecutive meetings, and this is dating back to 2019. So, yeah, the Maple Leafs since 2019 have been dominant against the Detroit Red Wings. Another victory out there tonight, and the Detroit Red Wings, in that time frame, they haven't necessarily been a good team, but they are emerging as a solid young team. The Detroit Red Wings are no longer a pushover team. They're actually, I wouldn't really consider them in the playoff mix, but they're just out on the outside looking in those teams that you could consider competing for a wild card spot in the East. They're down about 10 points underneath the Boston Bruins, but the Detroit Red Wings have a bright future, a lot of young, talented players. Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider out there was fantastic tonight. You saw what he's capable of doing. You have Alex Nedeljkovic, who was a Calder candidate last year in goal, solid goaltender. The Detroit Red Wings future is very bright, and the Maple Leafs with a big victory over them tonight. And Frank Restinel says, I like the comeback win, but Mrazek is terrible. And I don't necessarily think Mrazek's terrible. He hasn't had really a great outing with the Toronto Maple Leafs to date, but I'm sure that will. I'm sure that will come for him. Peter Mrazek is a solid goaltender in my opinion, and maybe the money, the money that he's getting paid isn't great for the amount of games that he's played and what he's done for this team because his impact hasn't been huge. But down the stretch of the season, with the games remaining, especially in this month of February, where the Maple Leafs have, I believe, 18 or 19 games, they're really going to need Peter Mrazek. Peter Mrazek's going to get one of the two starts Monday or Tuesday. I believe he's getting the Tuesday start, and Jack Campbell's getting Monday against New Jersey. But the Maple Leafs are really going to need Peter Mrazek down the stretch here, in my opinion. Jack Campbell can't do it all every night. And we've seen Jack Campbell's performance. It hasn't been as great recently. He's kind of come back down to earth from what he was doing at the beginning of the season. But Peter Mrazek is going to be pivotal for this team. Keelan said, I looked at the game and it was 4-1, then 4-4, and then 5-7. Wow. Yeah, and I guess if you weren't watching this game, yeah, it actually wasn't 4-1. It was 4-2 at one point. Hot Tuna corrects him. But yeah, still 4-2, 4-4, 7-4. I mean, yeah, wow. It was a fast turnaround. The Toronto Maple Leafs scored 5 goals in that third period, an offensive outpour. Big time victory for the Maple Leafs. And that's got to do wonders for their confidence as well. You'd think that's going to do wonders for their confidence. They're a team that is coming into this game with so much pressure on them. They've lost 2-goal leads in 5 of their last 7 games. And then they do that, flip the script against the Red Wings. That's just fantastic. Henry says, good evening. Important win against a division rival. And yeah, every win, these points add up. And it's a big win against a division rival who, as I mentioned earlier, is an emerging, young, talented team. A lot of talent over in Detroit. The Toronto Maple Leafs really were getting outplayed for most of this game. Through the first 2 periods, the Detroit Red Wings were controlling play, and the Toronto Maple Leafs struck back in the third period. They just stole points from the Detroit Red Wings in this one. About Peter Mrazek, he was really shaky through the first 2 periods, I thought. There was that one goal where he kind of kicked the rebound right to the Detroit player, and it went. The Red Wings put it in right through his 5-hole. That was an ugly goal. I believe that was Vladislav Nemestikov that scored that one, and that's not a goal that you'd like to see ever, but it happens. Not great rebound control there for sure. Karen O says, woohoo! What a game. Hi, Jake and the rest of the awesome fans here. Yeah, nice to see you in the chat, Karen, and great win for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button and hit the notification bell to be notified every time new content's being released on Maple Leafs Media. I'm always doing these post-game shows as often as I can. I'm gonna try to cover both of the games Monday and Tuesday between the Maple Leafs and the New Jersey Devils. Back-to-back games, one in Toronto, then they head to New Jersey for the next game. So I'm gonna try to do both, but if not, I will have at least one of those games covered with a post-game show. And that's a good point, Dave. Leafs show up for the third period, and the Wings were dead tired from last night. They still are too fancy. So this is a great point, actually. The Detroit Red Wings coming off back-to-back game. Last night they played against the Pittsburgh Penguins in a hard-fought battle, and they come out here tonight. They look really solid through the first 2 periods of play, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs poured it on in the third period. The Red Wings, yeah, they had a great game for the first two periods, but maybe that was them just being dead tired. But I do want to give credit to the Toronto Maple Leafs for this one. As much as you can say the Red Wings were tired from last night, and you're probably right when you say that, the Toronto Maple Leafs could have just given up on themselves in this game. But no, they came back. They had a hard-fought victory in this one. And that's something that I think you got to give credit where credit is due for that. Frank Rusty Nails says, I was impressed with the Red Wings play. I'm surprised they aren't in a playoff spot. And the playoffs, it seems unlikely for them this season, but I could definitely see them going on a run where maybe not like the 22 consecutive years that they made the playoffs, but they have a very bright future ahead of them. A lot of young talent and some superstar potential there as well. So the Red Wings could definitely go on a stretch where they have like 10 or more seasons in the playoffs, because I think that team, I think they have some championship caliber in Detroit. Not right now, but in the near future. And there was a comment earlier about why not play why not use Joseph Woll? And the reason is, to me, I mean, Joseph Woll is young. He's 23 years old. He looked great out there while he played what, like 3 or 4 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. He played a couple games, but to ask a 23-year-old to come into the NHL and be the backup goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team that's supposed to go, hopefully, for the Maple Leafs, make a deep playoff run this year. I don't think you're going to get there with Joseph Woll as your backup goaltender. Right now, Peter Mrazek is a solid backup option. And Eric says, the Leafs needed a win like this. It shows what they're made of. Red Wings, much improved team. Yeah, the Red Wings are definitely a much improved team. This is a team that they're a bottom feeder for the past few seasons, but that really, being at the bottom of the standings is something that they took advantage of. Steve Yzerman and that front office have done a great job of turning this thing around. They've got a lot of young talent, and they're going to be a fantastic team very soon. The Detroit Red Wings are a very fast team, and they're going to be competitive for years to come. And on the Leafs side, they absolutely needed a win like this. There's been a lot of talk through the media, myself included, about the concerns that we should have surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs when they're blowing 2-goal leads in 5 of their last 7 games. Of course, you're going to be concerned, but absolutely, this is a win that they needed to come back down by 2 goals. Big confidence booster for this team. How's it going, Hot Take Hockey? Nice to see you in the chat. Doing good after this big comeback victory. What a roller coaster of a game. Hot Tuna says Detroit is probably the best of the worst in the East. I don't think Detroit's really in that conversation of the worst in the East anymore. They're an emerging young team. I don't think that they're at all in that conversation. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button and hit the notification bell to be notified every time new content's being released here. This is being streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitter now. You can check out my Twitter if you haven't already, at Varco Sports. I'm trying to become a sports journalist. I'm getting into the industry, so any support you can show there, it's all appreciated. How about that third period for the Maple Leafs tonight, though? Down by 4-2. Down by 2 goals. They scratch and they claw. They fight back. Michael Bunting leading the charge for this team with a hat trick. Wow, what an impact player he is. On that top line, Michael Bunting has been fantastic for the Maple Leafs. Gets under the skin of the opponents, gets in the dirty areas, gets in front of the net in the corners. He does really everything. He's a great player, a very talented one. 12 goals on the season now with with his hat trick in this game. And without Michael Bunting, this is a whole different game for the Maple Leafs. Hot Tuna says worst meaning out of the playoff spot, and yeah, I guess that's a better way of putting it. Of the teams that aren't in the playoffs in that Eastern Conference, I'd definitely say that the Red Wings are among the better teams. I got to check out the standings, get an idea of who's out in the Metro right now. But for brightest future perspective, definitely the Red Wings have one of the brightest futures, if not the brightest future in the NHL. But the Maple Leafs face off against the New Jersey Devils Monday night back home at the Scotiabank Arena, and then they'll go to the Prudential Center the following night for a 7:30 p.m. matchup against the Devils again. So two back-to-back games between the Maple Leafs and Devils, and then they have some time off. They don't play the rest of the week after that. No weekend games either. They don't play again until next week. So I'll be back here Monday or Tuesday, if not both. One of the two at least. I'll be doing a post-game show just like this. So look forward to seeing you there. And thank you for watching. As always, I'm your guy, Jake, and a big game, a big dub for the Toronto Maple Leafs with a comeback over the Detroit Red Wings, a 5-goal third period. Thank you for watching.